Welcome to the Enlighten Up podcast, where I am going to take you into a deep exploration of what it means to exist in this current reality. We are going to raise your vibes, open your mind, expand your heart, and dive deep into the wondrous mysteries and possibilities of this lifetime. There's been a spiritual catalyst that has set in motion the awakening process of many across the globe to return to the knowingness of self and unite what has been separated. Together, we're going to bring light into that darkness. We're going to remember the joy of living. But most of all, we're going to turn up the volume of our own eternal power and do the thing we're here to do. And welcome back, everyone, to the Enlighten Up podcast. As you know, we have taken a little mini break from podcasting the last couple of weeks. I was needing a little break, a little winter recharge, going out to the mountains. But who better than to kick it back off than my dear Cancer ascendant, Scorpio, just stellium queen, Mary Dusina. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. And I'm glad that you got a nice winter, the seasons of winter, the signs of winter. When we begin that with Capricorn, the winter solstice, Yuletide. And so we have the signs of Capricorn and Aquarius, where we are now, and Pisces for our winter signs. And when you look, each season kind of has a little bit of a 3-sign cheerleader encouraging team type of a thing. So in Aquarius, for you to take a little break, a much needed break for restoring thy soul, walking beside the peaceful waters with our walking staff. So there's this, Aquarius is the pouring out of the giving the soul a much needed drink, the thirst being quenched in the constellation of Aquarius by the water bearer up in the stars, in the heavens, sending down those radiations, the artistic symbols of how literally instead of the bread of heaven, instead of the manna of heaven, it's a frequency leveling up in a sense. It's like the water bearer constellation is opposite to Leo, our royal lion, the heart of the lion, the brave heart, the heart chakra. So our full moon in Leo, to thine own self be true, and I must follow my heart. That age-old debate that we hear, no matter what the fashion style is or what number, generation it is, the head and the heart when they argue, the head and the heart when they say, now, wait a minute, I think I have my beliefs and my thoughts and my concerns and my insecurities and my hope fors. The Aquarian gets in there going, wait a minute, how's this looking a little bit further down the road there? If I take this walk with you in life, if we embark on this vision quest, if I allow, Leo, my vulnerability to come forth, I'm a fierce creature. I want to investigate things. I'm all about adventure. I do not ever want to ignore or abandon my inner child. Leo reminds us to look at it from the heart and the child's eyes. And that also is spelled capital I, apostrophe S. So the eyes of a child, EYES, and also the eyes of the best version of myself, how I can accept myself from past discord, disappointments, or divisions, and allow the wings of Aquarius, the sky part of it, the air element, the heavenly element, to put wings on our hearts.
Well,
so
yes.
This is a very, very powerful full moon. It's a very powerful full moon about being okay walking through the hall of mirrors.
Yes, yes. And, before we get into this it's going to be a shocking full moon, but it's bringing opportunities through those shocks. Mary, speaking of wings, do you want to kind of talk about some of the astrology and why we might be seeing so many disruptions in the sky with airplanes and airport technology and all of that kind of stuff right now?
I think a big piece of it, and for me, it also goes into, again, frequencies and air, the skies above us, the heavens above us. So this fog that they're talking about potentially having some type of, I've read and listened to everything from nanoparticles to activating with 5G towers, and certain people researching saying there's some type of little parasitic or germy things to do with this slimy fog. And I mentioned it to one of my UK clients, and then another one that was in different, a couple of others actually that were in different parts of the US of A here. Are you guys getting anything weird about the fog? Because I noticed about 3 to 4 years ago that the snow that I've been very familiar with in the Appalachian Mountains, it was really weird. Like it wasn't slippery like ice, although that's certainly prevalent. We all know that black ice, when ice melts, freezes again. If you're around snow, you learn these things the hard way, and eventually you pay attention. But this was different. This was slick. And then in 2017, I also have some of that snow. People were talking about, and I'm going, what, really? The snow that wouldn't melt. And my cousin and I got some snow. We still have it in the freezer, and we lit a match to it. Didn't melt. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So the things above our heads, it caught my attention with the drones and this, like, what is this PSYOPs game with, why are there so many drones? I think it was around New Jersey and New York. And then, the orbs that people have been talking a lot about all through last year, 2024, and the different things, like when they hold a flashlight up in the sky instead of chemtrails versus comtrails, they're seeing these particulates, they call them the particulates, kind of associated with geoengineering. And then we get into the first year of Pluto now forward in Aquarius. It's not been there for 248 years, so certainly affects this country in that sense. But we're going historically back 250 to 248 years. Each celestial object of attention has a different orbitable flight path, so to speak. And then we have these comets. Last year there was Comet Atlas, and there's different things that are going on since Oumuamua. So I love studying astronomy, and I love getting on the space sites and comparing it with the energy frequencies of how is our soul and our spirit energies, our electromagnetic meters, if we are indeed soul antennas and we're spirit in a physical vehicle, in a physical body, to experience our Mother Earth, Father Sky, Heavenly Father. So I feel like we've got, and these crashes, these very anomalous crashes. If you ask me, I understand that it's an astrologer, with Aquarius being space rockets and satellites and what's really going on above our heads in space, how really crowded, and what are the effects of space junk and things coming down, and UAPs and alien abductions and the hybrid program, and are you a starseed? All that is Aquarian. And I'm looking now at this disruption in what we've been taught, what we've been kind of really praised and patted, if we believed it that way, since events right now are opening up again, the JFK files since the 1960s. So when you think about Aquarius and what's over our heads and influencing us, it's also the air we wear, the air waves, the media, the words set into motion, the podcasts, the TikToks, the video, and how it's all being, what we're putting our eyes and our attention onto and into. And it all goes back to the heart and our heart's eyes and how it feels when we just have a knowing. So for me, when I first heard that Black Hawk, that Helio running into a passenger jet over the Potomac, it's funny you asked me, Nicole, that's very intuitive of you, because it was in the Potomac River. And I literally was just posting on my Facebook page on Cosmic Conditions, or my name on Facebook, the history, the native peoples, the First Nations peoples, the etymology of the word Potomac, which tribe it came from the Algonquin language, and how it had to do with traders, as in trading things, a meeting place, a river of swans, swan event. And so I was looking at that, and I'm like, whoa, wow. And so I something caught me intuitively. I do not have any specific answers yet. Here's my knowing. My knowing is something's really, really off with how that whole thing happened. And I'm looking at whether it's, I'm not just looking at America, I'm looking at these, planes have near misses all the time, and it's still touted as being the safest form of transportation that it is. When you listen to military Apache and Black Hawk pilots that I've talked to and know long before this, difference in helicopters, difference in Learjets, difference in passengers and single and twin engine planes. So it's still over our heads. It's people leaving the earth through a mechanical implement and going up into the heavens and the skies at different altitudes that matter much. And I feel like that it's not, it's like the sky is falling, Chicken Little, it's almost like there's things that are being so revealed, fast and furious. There are things that are coming at us, the layers are being peeled, the shells are being cracked, and when we get to the central part of our knowing, there isn't a battlefield anymore. It's like our inner child is constantly learning, wanting to adjust, wanting to get praised, wanting to fit in, wanting to feel safe and held. And then all of a sudden, there's all this information overload that comes on when you're a new creature on the planet Earth, a new puppy, a new kitten. I mean, there's potty training and there's what's safe to eat and what not. So we're being fed now by the frequencies and the feast or the famine, the drought or the floodgates of information, and we're all finding out in 2025. It's coming at us rapid fire. It's coming at us fast and furious. Leo is this February full moon is the first fire moon of 2025. Aquarius is the air, it's electricity, it's radiation, it's frequencies, it's the electromagnetic field, the aurora borealis. It's literally how we are receiving from Mother Earth into the breath of spirit. So there's a whole lot going on. And my guides kept saying, like, I've still got my antenna raised on the crash is, but especially that one caught my attention. Like, I know it's going to roll out like they love to do several months or years later. And then all the theories start and all the postulations happen. And then you go, oh, well, wow, that answers my question. So we're all in this type of belief and attitude and approach and vulnerability and volatility and from chaos that's not meant to punish us, from crises of change, a crisis of changes. We're all of a sudden put in a spotlight, front and center. It's up to us to feel it, micromanage it, come down from the rocket ship of shock and awe and surprise we just went on emotionally or mentally or financially. Like, literally, it's both the blue genie coming out of the golden urn, Leo, the golden lamp is the Leo, the belief, the faith, and rub the lamp and see what happens. Why did anybody rub the lamp in the first place? And here comes the Aquarian blue genie that flies in the vapor out of the lamp. You've liberated it, you've freed it. And so the very intellectual, kind of emotionally disassociated genie said, yeah, thanks. You got 3 wishes. Start now, because I've been in there a long time and I want to go. So there's a commonality of the Leo Aquarius energies we've got right now of the sun and moon. At the new moon, we're in Aquarius, and now we have the sun, moon across the sky, moon in Leo, yang, masculine, electric, sun, vibration in Aquarius, again, masculine and electric. So what are we wanting to put effort into? What do we feel we're plugged into? And I keep getting a psychic vision, Nicole, and thank you, beautiful audience, for attending now and in the near future and on repeat. What are we wanting to unplug from? So if we've got that Mars in Cancer, that's a unique feature of this 2025 full moon, and Mars in Cancer is about to turn direct, and we've got Mercury moving into Pisces. We've got, which I'm going to let Nicole roll with this because she'll be good on the Pisces. The North Node, our journey ahead, joining with Neptune, the ruler of Pisces. So this is cathartic, psychologically, intimately, very intimately, for some signs more than others, but this has all the feels. This is unpacking the suitcase, getting rid of the stuff we've been carrying for a long time, and then saying, you know what? I'm ready to pack that suitcase with some new stuff, some stuff I don't fully I haven't fully allowed myself to venture into. I'm going to take some new vision quests. I'm going to kind of step over my insecurities and my fears, and I'm going to not allow my attention to be in, well, what if it doesn't work out? Or what if we don't meet what we thought we would meet expectations? And so the inner child is going, can we just go? Can we just commit to we got to take the first step to pack the suitcase and get in the car or get on the plane or go sit by the lake or cast the fishing pole. It's like it's time for us just to say, instead of, I don't know, why not?
Yeah, well, this is kind of a bit of a turning point, this full moon in Leo. Well, for everyone out there, it's going to be happening tomorrow on the 12th of February at 8:53 a.m. Eastern time. So just adjust the time for your time zone. And it's happening at 24 degrees of Leo. And this Leo is, we always know Leo is the lion. It represents the heart chakra. It's about courage. And I do feel, because we have such a powerful tension between the moon, the sun, and Uranus and Taurus in this full moon, that you are coming up to likely confront something that you may have been resisting. You may have not wanted to really deal with yet, or look up close and personal at. And this likely, it has something to do with with the moon being in Leo. How are you expressing yourself? What is your creative expression like? Are you allowing yourself to truly be seen? Are you standing out in the spotlight? Are you maybe taking a stand for yourself finally? Because Uranus is the planet of shock and awe and unexpected surprises, but it's also about revolution and breaking free and dramatic insights, aha moments. It's like Mary said, it's the electricity. And of course, with the sun and Mercury being in Aquarius, which Uranus modernly rules, it does feel like this is the time where you're going to have to maybe have a little more courage, or maybe a lot more courage. And it's time for you to really get in tune with, where have I been holding myself back from authentically following my heart, speaking from my heart, standing in my truth, being willing to maybe step outside of the comforts of the group, being lost in the group, and allow myself to shine a little bit. And it's not to mean that the group is bad, but it's more of like, because of the group, you've allowed yourself to hide. You've allowed yourself to play small. You've allowed yourself to maybe forget what it is that speaks so deeply in your heart, that wants to maybe roar like a lion right now. And Uranus has come to shake it all up and say, you know what? You got to get in line with your future visions. You got to be more in alignment with your future self. And right now you're holding yourself back from that. How do you feel about that, Mary?
What you described to me was very poignant with, thank you, by the way, thank you for your wisdom in your study. What I feel with the Aquarian factor is that it when you get to the potential opposition of the signs being exactly opposite each other, kind of, pulling on same team, but competitive players, it's like Aquarius is saying, you can rewrite your script. You keep the best of yourself. Aquarius is the kind of energy, like you're describing, that says, if we just practice the pause, if we just, without judgment, if we just kind of do a little self-examination without needing to blame ourselves or anybody else, just where and how are you feeling the most intensity, as far as, I don't want to do that way anymore, or I do feel like I probably want to explore that. Like I can sense, and what Nicole's talking about, the Uranian factor, Uranus, however you want to say it, is the governing celestial spotlight for the sign of Aquarius. We are in Aquarian season. I mean, Mercury is going to, on the 10th, Mercury squared off with Uranus. As we go over the 11th, the pre-technical full moon, as we go over the evening prior to the 12th, this 11th, 12th luminary magnificence is saying to us, the sun in Aquarius is squaring Uranus. The moon is in Leo. It's called a T-square when you got like the 90 degrees, and then there's an opposition in there too. And so this full moon in Leo purges and reveals and kind of will smash some illusions and bring you the needed truths, or the missing pieces are like here to come, and they might just come roaring in. The roar of the lion. The lion is now not caged, and it's feeding time. But it's not feeding time in a predator sense. It's feeding time as far as we're saying, with Aries being the I am, the first fire sign, Leo being the I will, second fire sign, and then Sagittarius, the final of the fire sign, says I believe. So we're at the I will point with this full moon, and this full moon has the disruptor, the poking the tiger in the cage, is its own ruling planet, Uranus, in the sign that squares off with it in Taurus, which gets in the mix of the Leo moon. The Taurus is the earth, the Leo is the fire, the Aquarius is the air. So we got these elements stirring around, and what's left? What's left is, how's that water element doing? So Mars is getting ready to station direct, I think like the 19th, in the sign, the water ocean, the ocean sign of Cancer, the crabs that live at the ocean, the sea, the seashells, that hauntingly beautiful, healing, ionic atmosphere of the ocean. Whenever you're at the seashore, when you're there, you're in the sands of time, and it's the ocean, and whether it's day or night, it's a whole different kind of Earth Mama medicine than the mountains or the beautiful red rocks out west and the Pueblo villages, or the coastal fishing centers up in Massachusetts, Maine, and up there in the top. So what's happening is Mars is in Cancer. Neptune rules Pisces. Mars is in the sign of the moon, and this moon is in the sign of the sun. So the sun is ruler of Leo, full moon's in Leo. Mars, which is like our impetus, our surge to go do it, to go create, get it over with, stop procrastinating, all that, is in the sign of the moon. So Mars is in grandmother moon sign, and it's nurturing, and it's like we can't help but finding ourselves going, oh, that's so interesting. That was such an interesting dream. Like the dream is talking to us and giving us different pieces that we're kind of wanting to like still focus on throughout a day or two as we begin back those symbols. We're actually regenerating emotionally right now, and Mars in Cancer is getting along beautifully with Saturn in Pisces, which will change to Aries later this year. It's moving from water to fire. And Neptune, ruler of Pisces, is speaking with now Mercury going into Pisces on the full moon day, and also with Neptune ruling Pisces, and Mars is in the sign of Cancer. So we've got this ocean. Pisces is Neptune. It's Poseidon. It's everything to do with the deepest depths and the strongest magic and mysteries of what it is to be out on the ocean, the salt waters, the sands of time, the seeds of life and death, and the great bodies of the oceans around this planet. And then space, the electrifying stars, and when we see the moonbow, and when we have this inundation of water, like I expect there to be. We've had all this sky news, which is very Aquarian and very tied in with Earth, like these planes crashing to Earth. So Aquarius is the heavens, and it's the flight paths and all that mathematical computerization and analyzation that can go on with Aquarius. Aquarius is very inventive and heady and brainstorming and just way ahead of their time. And all that technology, whether it's Chat GPT or AI, or the whole Aquarian thing is like taking the futuristic, innovative, fascinating, like, wow, I can like have those virtual reality glasses on, but I don't want to lose me. So Mars in Cancer right now is saying to us, look what's happening in the skies. Look at it just simply like this. If you were an alien, there's a lot of tension in the skies, whether it's the debate over Gaza or the missiles or releasing people that have been captive in cages like a lion, like a wild beast, treated like a wild beast, a predator capturing its prey. All of this energy is kind of like the statement of humanity and being humane, and the powers that be that will negotiate and say, I said, don't. If you do, or if you don't play fair, things are going to come at you. I'm telling you, I'm okay delivering some type of a repercussion. I'm ready for a win-win. That's Aquarius Libra stuff. But I'm telling you, and this could be any leader of their country, I'm telling you, you've gotten away with that for too long. It's like this Aquarius thing is we the people. Right now in the UK, there's all kinds of farmers protesting again. They're like all lined up in the streets. We don't see that a lot over here, but I've got clients around the world and I get these little snippets of what's going on. And so what's happening is we, the people, are saying we're not going to have any rulerships or governments close our eyes anymore. We're not going to let you divide us by taking sides. We're going to focus on what is the right course for every earthling, every earth creature, and humanity. And I have to stop getting caught up in victimhood or vitriol, and I have to stop leaking my energy and then just feeling emotionally, experiencing emotional indigestion from all the fear factors and all the possibilities. Oh my God. You know, if you just look back 3 years and just look at all the headlines that were promising they were going to come to be, and it's doom and gloom, and you might as well bend over and kiss your ass goodbye, a lot of it didn't happen. Mm-hmm. And so I think that this Leo factor and the fact we're having a shift of the nodes that started mid-January of the North Node in Pisces saying, oh, ye of little faith, get some. Stop operating from the shit's going to hit the fan or F around and find out. Stop pushing things to the edge just in order to get an adrenaline thrill or a rut roll. That was fun. You know, kind of get a little more disciplined about fun with the purpose, gratitude with magic of gratitude, the benevolence to you. Absolutely. Benevolence and good karma coming to you. Pisces can represent that because we're leaving the victim. We're leaving Cinderella all depressed because she had to leave by midnight as the magical enchantment went. Or to Nicole's point, the lion in all these different versions of Wicked and the Wizard of Oz, the lion thought he needed courage, just like the Tin Man thought he needed a heart. Mm-hmm. And both of them had it to go on. So there's this wizard in us. Aquarius might be the spaceman, the wizard, the star origins, you know, what galaxy we were originally from, and the absolute sacred mystery of the breath of the Almighty I Am and the supernatural forces. When you get to Aquarius and Pisces, we're talking about if you position your mind like a magnet and then you move from the heart with your emotions, with feeling, you know, not, well, I'll believe it when I see it. Believe it and you'll see it. Work on the belief first. And then as you do that, you're using the fuel of faith. And so to manifest, to transmute, to transform, what you're doing is, I know what I got. Here's all the stuff in the 3D world. I can look at that about myself and that about my job and that about my lover and that about my lacks and that about my hopes. So why don't you work with, I'll see it, I'll believe it when I see it. Why don't you look at what you're seeing in front of you right now and take one aspect of your life, be it personal, financial, whatever, and silently, don't talk about it to other people. Enlist the strength card in the tarot, you know, Leo, the star card in the tarot, Aquarius, and then the energy of the Taurus, you know, whether you want to go to the King of Pentacles or whether you want to go to the Hierophant tradition, the actual core beliefs, the core rules of win-win, karma, the good medicine, the good magic, you know, carrying good medicine with you and blocking and casting away using psychological boundaries, and no means no and yes means okay, being able to move away the discordant energy, and you can negotiate with it, you can set the rules, they have a choice, they break the rules, it's like, oh, mahalo, I'm out. So we've got to participate in this. We are actually both right now a space being, a star seed, a hybrid of heaven and earth. That's true. You're a spirit in some kind of earthly body. So you're already a hybrid. So my suggestion in Aquarius and Pisces, as we're moving with what are the structure and the core foundations of why you believe, what turns you on, why does it turn you on? Don't overthink it. Just get some answers. And are you, Leo, still satisfied with all of it? amidst all these shock and awe, meant to be changes that are literally soaring in. I mean, like, boom, boom. It's just like, we're on a fast monorail kind of a thing, or we're astral traveling through the stars. I mean, we are being supercharged, and on the great tapestry, on the great heavenly vapors, there's that blue genie again. When we light the incense, when we light the sage, when we're lighting the campfire, the ceremonial fire, and we're going to vision, and we're going to allow the reality shifts to occur and the lines to get blurred so we can really see. And that's true for me. Why? Because even though everything's spinning and hallucinations are happening, I got a right direct, my intuitive arrow in my heart aligned right there. So that's why people do plant-based ceremonial things. That's why people seek to shift their reality through the amusement sometimes of getting high or buzzed or whatever you want. You just get wired kind of a thing. Some people are trying to shut their head off and relax, and other people are trying to see what really matters anyway, right now and forever.
And, I'd also like to say that with the full moon in Leo, everyone, there is a part of you that's been playing a little too safe, right? Uranus in Taurus is wanting to shake up your sense of security because you can't play it safe. I mean, the era that we are now in, especially Pluto in Aquarius for the next 20 years, it's like it's all about innovation and, really breaking free, liberating yourself. It's about freedom for a future that you've really envisioned for yourself. And with this particular full moon, I do feel like many of you are getting a sense of what you've always felt like played it safe with, or you are used to having your security blanket around. Like that feels like it's getting ripped away in some way with this full moon, but it's doing that because you're ready. You're ready to push yourself beyond some boundaries that you haven't allowed yourself to explore. And this is about really letting your heart be fed, like what many of you maybe are doing things like maybe you're, again, like feeding yourself in a sense of what you believe you should be doing or what others have told you. But in this particular full moon, I do feel there is an element here where you are being asked to break free of what has always felt safe and have enough courage to take a stand for something that really lights up your heart, and also is somehow balancing out a future vision that you have for yourself, something that you are destined for. And through this kind of shakeup, you've got opportunities that could be coming your way. I just don't feel like, in the era that we're in, and especially with everything that's going on, Mary, like you can't play it safe right now. You cannot.
Well, I think soul safe is okay. If you can, to say the same thing you're saying, you're always safe with your soul. Your spark of the divine, your heart's eyes, your soul knows. It really does. So your mind may question things, and people may tug at your emotions, hot, cold, good, bad, in, out. But your soul is the best navigational compass that you have. And when we have these energies right now, when you have a year when there's like big bang shifts, I mean, when you have not every year there's eclipses, and some years have blood moons and some don't, and some have more Mercury retrogrades than others, and then Venus goes from an evening star to a morning star, and she does her Venus point kind of stuff and dancing. So there's a lot but this is one of those years. This is one of those years where I feel, Nicole, one of the strongest portals of this year, and maybe a lot of people will be talking about this online, but the big portal of Uranus that you were just speaking about, ruler of Aquarius, moving into its home element sign of Gemini around 7/7 of this year. So in some time zones, of course, it'll be, 7/8, 7/9, like England's 5 hours ahead of us where I'm at in Eastern. So yeah, adjusted. But over that time shift, and it doesn't begin and it doesn't end on those dates. Just because astrologers speak to you about, the portal, the energy gate opening on July 7th, July 8th, I think people that haven't kind of studied a little bit about the cycles, we're just like cosmic mechanics or intuitive mathematicians that are saying, wow, last time that cycle happened was then, and then last time that cycle that happened, take a faster moving one like full moons, was in that sign. So it gives us, because we're all a little ADD, there's so much flying at us. For example, this full moon in Leo in 2025, this February 11th, 12th portal lunar inner self wisdoms that are being activated and titillated, really. This Leo full moon ties back to the new moon of August 4th, 8/4 of 2024. And I found that interesting because 2024 is a year added up to an 8. And on the 8th, August the 8th, 8/8, on the 4th, was the new moon in Leo. So it was both the sun and moon were in Leo saying, come February. And I know if you go back to the Aquarius full moon, back in August of 2024, when Nicole and I were talking about that, it could be so implemental and so like, whoa, there's, as you said, Nicole, there's an aha, there's an epiphany, there's a like, wow, my soul knew. I think sometimes it's kind of good walking down memory lane, especially with Mars and Cancer, and it's going to get into Leo in April, but especially with Mars and Cancer, so we don't have feeling turmoil or insecurity or emotional indigestion, because Cancer rules that whole stomach, how we take the nutrients, how we release, what we don't need anymore. It's like the push-pull of like, I want to hold on to this. This makes me feel secure, and I'm done with that. So this whole, am I at home with myself, is really cycling strongly around us. And so this week we're in right now, of course, then ties to the new moon that'll come up in the time of Leo of 2025. But we're going to have Aries planets, and we're going to have Gemini. We're shifting from an earth-water dominance into an air-fire vibration. Hence,
yes,
while we're picking up like quasar-type speeds, we're going to find out all kinds of things about heaven and space and quantum and magnetic and aura and this and that. I mean, there's going to be so much more natural telepathy. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody doesn't say, oh, here's the next big innovation besides cell phones. Now it's going to be this. And so I think it's going to be like, I mean, look at all of us that got so comfortably accustomed to the technology, the innovative international technology of cell phones, no matter what type of smartphone that you own. They call them smartphones. Yeah, they call it. Yeah. So, and I love that they call the one app TikTok, because you think about when cartoons would go tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Is it a clock? Is it a timer? Is it a row at the end of that tick, 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 tick? So, I mean, ticks are scary insects out in nature. So I look at the TikTok thing. They're really short little visual memes, if you will, animated memes, but there's a lot of info that got just surged into that. And so like DeepSeek and TikTok and, they're like morphing into cross-culturing into different kinds of age ranges and changing the language among certain ages and stuff. And so it's inventing some new types of ways of communicating. And that's what every one of the air signs want, whether it's a Gemini, Uranus is going to move there, 7778, whether it's Libra, which Venus rules. Venus is doing her little dance from evening to morning star. The Venus hit, the creator point of 0 degrees Aries. She already hit that. She's in Aries right now. She's getting ready to retrograde. And so there's this energy right now where Venus is saying, I know you're a washing machine right now mentally. I know that you are wanting just to get things clean and dry psychologically and not have to obsess or be pestered with the mind game, shame, blame. But I'm Venus and it's Pisces, and we're about to open the door in compatibility with Aquarius and in the regality of the heart chakra of Leo in this full moon. Real strong times around you Aquarians and you Leos, by the way. But we're going to actually surge an energy wave of purging false beliefs and releasing yourself from the captivity of any kind of social media influencer or podcaster or so-called prophet or whatever, anybody that's trying to manipulate you and lead you like a sheep into just their belief and not allowing you just to, maybe they can teach you, maybe they can inspire you, maybe you'll get some really valuable seeds and grow a big old beanstalk of enlightenment in your life. But you've still got to climb the beanstalk, and you still got to plant the seeds, and you still got to use your very sacred spirit, mental, body gift of discernment. And so when you say Almighty I Am, when you say Great Spirit, when you say Risen Christ, when you say by the power of the light, when you say I allow the highest frequencies of my soul and the spirit of I am light, I am love to direct this, then that shame, blame starts to really recede. Then your need to feel like that you're okay because others validate you, what you say and what you do and how you do it. You're no longer affected by competition or jealousy or the fear of another snatching your golden ring, because you're already walking with the divinity of the golden. You're already one with, you made your choice. You discerned it and said, yeah, no matter what mortal, no matter what money, no matter what potentiality, I want the vision quest this lifetime, right here, right here. I want to course correct and be the best, better version of myself in harmony with myself. Like, you don't fracture yourself getting there.
No, yeah. And as Mary said, everyone, think back to the first week of August last year. I believe the new moon in Leo was August 4th. And think back to what kind of was going on around that time in your life, because you were planting new seeds that are now being illuminated in this full moon. There's a culmination, there's an achievement, there's an enlightenment of some sort. Something is being fully brought into the light, fully reached its culmination from something that you started around that time. And so either there's a cycle that's getting ready to close out now, it's reached its ending and you're ready to go to the next level, or something's completing or releasing. This full moon is very much tied back to that first week of August, very close to the Lion's Gate. So think about like what was kind of going on around for you around that time, and you know, what kind of little shakeups or maybe big shakeups are coming in. You know, I do want to say I would be remiss to not talk about it, especially with you, Mary, being on the show. We have a pile up in Pisces, you know, starting at the end of this week. We've got Mercury moving into Pisces on Valentine's Day. We will have the Sun moving into Pisces on the 18th. All of our listeners are so deeply connected to much more of the spiritual journey. This is a unprecedented time for all of you to really allow your psychic senses to bloom. The blooming of your psychic senses from mid-February into early March are going to be unprecedented, with the North Node, Saturn, Neptune, the Sun, Mercury, and towards the end, we will have the Moon for a few days in Pisces at the end of February. To have all the luminaries and those planets in the North Node really piling up in Pisces, this is an opportunity for so many of you to really connect beyond your current psychic skills, your intuitiveness, your ability even to go and do deep healing work, to connect with this part of you that is so unconditionally loving. This is an incredible opportunity for you guys to have dream journals, to do automatic writing, to meditate every day and perhaps write about it. Or even for those of you who are into channeling and you're trying to maybe open yourself up to channeled messages, record yourself over these next few weeks, because there is a blooming happening in for all of us in this area. And I think this is one of the beautiful energies of the North Node beginning its trek through the Pisces sign to bring in a sense of deeper connection to where you are created from, like where you truly are connected and created from. But also, I do believe that, I don't know, my dreams have been really wild and my intuition has been stronger than normal. I know some of the people in my alchemy program are having psychic gifts come online. I mean, one of the women in there started to hear angelic music playing, and it wasn't from a phone or a computer or anything. Like, it just started playing. And so I do believe this is a beautiful blooming time for your psychicness and awareness, if you are willing to capitalize on the energies, because that's why we talk about this, is so that you can utilize the energies to your best advantage. This is a time to definitely not let that opportunity slip you by.
And I think, Nicole, the one other little tension line, if you will, is with Mars right now in the sign of the mother and the sign of Cancer and the sign of
trining all of that energy.
Safe and secure. It's got one little twist, one little bread tie that's going on over the February 11th and 12th and 13th as we come into St. Valentine's Day, is that, and it's not a major thing, but Mars in Cancer, when romance or a sensual invitation, or when someone is noticing us in a different kind of way, in a different kind of good way, in a different kind of, you fascinate me, I'm interested in you, I would like to talk to you again. Mars in Cancer reminds us of when we lost hope, or when we got a little insecure and maybe we did too much, we gave too much, we were trying to secure and in a sense prove to that other partner, whether it was work, a job, work, home, parent, lover, but usually the lover, to where like, oh, I really want this. And I think with Cancer, with Mars in Cancer, it's like we sell it to ourselves, we convince ourselves that we really don't want to change right now, but at the same time we're saying, I just know this could be more. I just know that something's off about this. I don't want to judge them. Let me put it back on me. And if I'm feeling concerned, then I need to step up more. So it's where the empath, the empath can attract the narcissist. It's where this sincere, innocent male or female can, be beguiled and bewitched by someone that says, oh, I got them right where I want them. If they're just at two different places in a crossroads of their life, when someone's coming out of a heavy relationship, it's supposedly healthier if you kind of process it a little bit before you just leapfrog right back into somebody else back to back. And then there's the times where we got involved in relationships where that other person really loved us, was really sincere, was really honest, but it just wasn't the enough of a package, nothing wrong with them, and where you were at that time, or that it also, and this is fascinating when this happens with people that I've worked with as well as in my own life, when you have that realization that it's just like, wow, there's really nothing wrong with this person who's attracted to me, or who's courting me, or who's fascinated by me and wants it to move to the next level. I now know, for me, what it felt like when someone did that to me, when I was all into them and I really was working hard to make it work. And maybe we were fascinated more by the fantasy, or we were putting that person into our image of what would at that time, because it changes, equate to happiness for us or security in a relationship. Cancer is all about security. So I think with it squaring Chiron right now in Aries, and Mars' sister, Eris, is an asteroid kind of like a dwarf planet, Eris. Eris is the sister in mythology, in Greek and Roman mythology, to Ares, the lord of war, so to speak, in Greek and Roman mythology. So Mars and Aries got like all ticked off because she wasn't, and when you read the myth, it's interesting about how she stirs up things, and she can be certainly an incinerator and an instigator. She's in Aries right now. And so Mars, which rules Aries, is in a very feminine, very, listen, I'm busy. I want to make sure my inner child, I want to make sure my little boy and my little girl doesn't let just a couple of bad breaks in life, a couple of the rug got pulled out under me, or I didn't win when I was so sure I would. And then I found out there was some blackmail and nefarious stuff and just, full bore rejection or jealousy. Everybody's going to go there, been there, done with it. Bought the t-shirt, took it back, gave it away. So this energy is about turning, when you felt that kind of way, turn that mirror to yourself and make that commitment with a soft lit candle as you're entering into the sleep dream time, as Nicole was talking about, and give thanks to those angels, the language of those angels, which is also Aquarian, the space beings, the angels, the divine above us that don't necessarily have to incarnate into a heavy earth dense body. Right now is a dog, an elephant, a camel, a butterfly. So our angels are dream and intuitive and sweet spot messengers that say, I'm a messenger. And if I can help you go a little deeper, I think if I can help you when you look back, not just keep looking at the old loss or pain, and if I can assure you that all of that was then and not now is also helping and did help create the beautiful energy that you are right now. Your confidence is better for when you were rejected and you learned to understand that, and it wasn't just as you assumed it was, but it just needed to shift. In our life book, that whatever that, there's a season and a reason for different things for people and appearances and apparitions and goodbyes and hellos. That it's a very powerful day when all of a sudden, whatever that was, with whomever that was, the light switch goes on and off. It goes on when they entered our life changed. Got a whole new direction with our destiny and our dances with chance. And we think about, oh my God, 7 years ago, back at the big North American eclipse in Leo, at 29 degrees of Leo back in I think it was 2016, 2017, in that third week of August, there hadn't been a solar eclipse that crossed the United States for close to 99 years when that happened, that big 29-degree Leo eclipse. Well, this full moon's at 24, 25. And when you look at the Sabian artistic, clairvoyant, intuitive artwork symbols with the sun at 24 to 25 degrees, astrology things go from 0 to 30 degrees. So this sun sign right now opposing the moon in Leo, the Aquarius part of it is 24 Aquarius. And the imagery, the oracle card, the artistic imagery is a butterfly, which its right wing is more fully formed than the other right now. So right is the future. Right is you tend to look at it as yang or as electrical, where the left has to do with reference and the magnetic frequencies and metaphysics and when you're learning about energy levels and distributions and radiations. And so we have the Aquarian part right now is saying, I used to be earthbound, I used to be a caterpillar, and I spun this cocoon, and I got out of the cocoon, and one of my wings is kind of like bigger than the other right now, so, but it's still flying, it still made it, it's still morphed. And the Leo 24, 25, what they call Sabian degrees, is a camel that's going to cross a vast swath of a desert. So camel is the earth totem right now, along with the lion. And the butterfly is one of the symbols for Aquarius. And so normally in nature, songbirds and butterflies are Gemini. So right now we've got the whole Mercury thing in the air sign of Aquarius. So the butterflies and the lightning bugs and the pleasant flyers in nature, the ones that don't tend to irritate us. Oh, look, there's the dragonfly. Oh, cool, look at that butterfly. Oh, that's a great Luna moth. The flyers that are art in motion are on one side of this that has to do with us thinking higher, longer range, being inventors, all of us. What would we like to creatively, Leo, from our heart, from our soul's purpose, from our life's mission, what would we like to be more passionate and allow the desires of the work we'd like to do, the way we want to be in a relationship not fully formed by our past failures? What would we like to do to present ourselves as, hey, it's really good to meet you. I like that we've connected, and I'm committed because I'm fascinated to take different levels with you and get to know you. At any time, either one of us can opt out, but I'm in it to win it, and I'm in it to win it for you, with you. So when we're playing, when we've got it's not a battlefield when it's a regular playing field. They call it a playing field or a battlefield. And so Aquarius doesn't want to fight with Leo. Aquarius is the angel in the tarot card of strength, the 8th card. Aquarius is that nurturing feminine energy. And I think that's very alive and very potent in 2025 because we've got Mars in Cancer getting ready to shift into Leo. And this whole dance started happening back in like early October of 2024, and it's roaring forth this year. So we're right now, all of us, part of our archetype, the quiet, secretive, pensive, hopeful part of us, we're the ocean crab. We can be alone at the ocean. We can hide in our shells. but there's the things that we would really rather not pinch at or would really not be pinched with. And so we're kind of getting through that. And that's the sign before Leo. So this full moon is very cathartic, the last 30 days. Last month's full moon was in Cancer the Crab. The moon was at home with the moon. Now the moon is lighting up the sun. And so we actually put things into action after the sun goes into Pisces, and we have strong energies piling up, as Nicole said, by the 23rd of February, the new moon of February, and then the next full moon will be in Virgo. So it's a call to duty, and we're actually implementing the details of how we're going to structure and do the foundations, et cetera, by the time we get to the third week of February and on to the full moon of March. But right now we're literally really okay with being caterpillars, and we know that we've got to get out of a cocoon of past thinking or past limitations, or where does your brain go? Does your brain also go to thoughts of where you did something really kind or you did something really well? Only you can answer if you're too hard on yourself. Mm-hmm. I think Mars in Cancer is saying stop being so hard on yourself. Just let yourself. Leo right now is saying the moon, it's our emotions, mood of the moment. Leo's saying, oh, no matter what's going on with the world, you're a good person, you're a kind person, you're a generous person. Could you give yourself a night or a day or two of just, making it okay not to work all the time or feel guilty if you just want to do something 3 hours out of your day that has to do with invigorating your own inner child, the little kid gets to play.
I mean, I've been totally feeling that. Yeah, I've been feeling that. I also like looking at the chat. A lot of people have been saying like their dreams have been wild, and intense and crazy. Absolutely. And very lucid. And I myself think, I've noticed this because I don't usually have dreams like this, but with Mars being in Cancer retrograde
mm-hmm.
and really forcing us to kind of maybe look inward about our anger and being in this trine to all the planets in Neptune and Pisces, that I don't know if you've had this, Mary, and you guys in the chat, let me know too, for those of you who are here live, but I've noticed, and it's not just me, it's people like my boyfriend, my friends, like, we're having these dreams where it almost seems like we're battling. It's like you're battling with other people in your dreams, or you're battling anger, or you're like, and when I say battling, I mean more so to say, it seems like we're working through it using the dreams.
Engaging.
Yes. So that we can continue on in daily life, like not having to not that you don't have to address it, but it's like we're doing the work in the dream state.
Yeah. And what it is that it becomes more effective quicker, mm-hmm. because you're engaging with what might be trying to haunt you or poke at you psychologically or mentally. So you're at home in your bed, you finished your meal, your bath, your shower, your personal, private, intimate time, and now you're actually going to be entering into walking across the river of stars and entering in to the longhouse, the dream lodge, going into to meet with ancestors and angelic messengers, and how the stars are shining brightly just over your head for you, and your guides saying to you, because you're beginning to allow yourself to engage and be lucid in your own dreams, then you don't have to be, you're not pestering, it's not a punishment anyway, but you're not having to be pestered. Have you noticed you've got a more free flow in your dutiful activities during the day, because Cancer is the moon. It's nocturnal. Yeah. So once we have this full moon complete, as we enter into a day of celebrating very dear friends, whatever people like to do with the engaging of expressing, I admire you, you're my best friend, you're my BFF, I love you as my intimate partner, all that stuff about the day of hearts. Leo rules the heart. Aquarius is the circulation and the ankles, what actually lets us move forward or walk away from something, the ankles. And so Leo is the heart, and Aquarius circulates these frequencies and vibrations of the telepathic heart. We have a telepathic mind, but we also have a telepathic heart. And our soul helps us be the broadcast channel, what broadcast frequency that we're connecting with. So I do feel this Valentine's Day, not to get people all hyped up with the big box stores push for the candies or flowers or cards, but I don't think it's ever a bad thing or a negative thing when you receive, a traditional, like, hey, I thought of you, thanks for being the great customer, here's some chocolate, or here's a card. Like, they used to do it. I used to like to do it in kindergarten and different things that were the little kids, make sure everybody gets a Valentine type of a thing. It was just cute. It was sweet. It was innocent. And we think about Cupid, Eros, Psyche, Cupid, Eros in mythology, the heart. Cupid's flying in the air with his little wings. It's a cherubim. And he's got this bow and arrow. And when he shoots he takes the heart out of it and puts it on the arrow and he shoots it. And whenever he hits someone, it's not a bloodbath. It's not gory at all. It's just all of a sudden, all of their insecurities and all of their boundaries and archetypes and defense mechanisms fall down. It's just they're smitten. They're just fascinated and smitten and like engaged. And wow, this energy kind of feels good. This is very. Are you feeling it? Are you? I just like you. I don't have any other words for it, but I like being around you. And of course, in some of the movies and the cartoons, they take it further. In fantasy and fable, the person becomes obsessed. And some of them in fairy tales, eat an apple and go to sleep and, fall asleep and the prince has got to come kiss them awake. And other ones deliver the Piscean glass slipper. So it has a lot to do right now in these final 2 winter signs because we hit the creator point when we get to spring equinox in the northern hemisphere. So we're clearing out really a faster way to say it. And Nicole's going to go, right away to those of us that enjoy swirling the stars is our new year is not January 1st. Mm-mm. Our new year is the equinox when the signs order starts again. So Aries starts at the end of the 3rd week of March. And so we've got Aries, and in the northern hemisphere, it's the springing forth of the new life of that year. So a lot of herbalists and a lot of wizards look at the new year as how nature speaks. Look, new baby birds and eggs and ducklings and things are happening. Here's the baby hares, that kind of a thing. So, and then when you look at it astrologically, Pisces is the 12th or the final sign of the cycle that we were going through for that measurement of that year. So even though 2025 started on January 1st with American custom and the Chinese New Year's always at the Aquarian, new moon. So we went into the year of the wood snake. So we got the earth again. There's that Taurusy, earthy thing in the snake, which is scorpionic. There's those 2 opposite signs shedding its old skin. So we're shedding, I think, in a healthy way. We're shedding the beliefs and the way we have to always have fun just that kind of way. I always have to have a boat. I always have to have a horse. I always got to go shopping. I always got to, we're shedding some of those old ways that we engaged our higher creative self. We're shedding the need to be high in order, we don't have to have that as a crutch. We can have it as fun, as a tool, but not as a crutch. So what's getting you high lately? And do you find it to be a self-debilitating way, or do you find it to be that you've really never touched those realms or those thoughts like that before? And you can still have a lot of fun in this earth life and your earth body with your earth mind and your psychology and your personality and your character by allowing yourself to amplify some of those higher aspects of your magic, of your knowledge, of your illumination you've had them from the beginning. You're just going to let them come out and play. You're just going to let them be illuminated. You don't have yourself all figured out at 30 or 19 or 65. There's still a whole lot of things that can bloom and be seeded, and we're coming into that. I've been watering myself for a long time, and I've been watering other people from my heart for a long time, and now it's my turn to be the garden.
Yeah.
That's this year.
Yes, and big transformation year, the snake. I am a snake, so go figure.
How are you?
Yeah.
How are you?
But let's jump into the signs, Mary, and we'll do a little rundown for each of the zodiacs.
Okay, so each time Nicole and I come together and talk to you about the moon, it's a full moon. So the full moon energies are what's lighting up your most private, most intimate, most personal self. And it might be that you're not necessarily sharing that with the external people in your world. It might be what you're quietly processing yourself and what you very secretively want to gain more knowledge on, or you want to put to rest or declutter with. So that's why when we go through these signs each month, and we're talking about, this is how Leo, the frequencies and the energy of Leo, the 5th sign of the zodiac. So everything that has to do with your creativity, the dancer that you are, how music fits you and hits you and turns you on in a sense of feeling electrified or soothed or at spirit, or you just want to kick your feet. You know, Leo's also about what would make you just laugh really hard that you have to stop whatever you're doing and just let yourself have that really full shaking medicine of that kind of laughter of like, oh my God, I can't keep my composure. I'm going to just ride this laugh wave because damn, this feels good and I'm going to grab the moment. So it's like a psychological orgasm and a mental relief. And so Leo is all about, you just need to not overanalyze your life so much in whatever category that you can't just allow the spirit of play or the engagement of laughter or encouraging other people to turn the corners of their mouth up. That's all about Leo being the clown and the jester and the fantastic entertainer, dancer, artist, singer, whatever it is. I mean, Leo, when it hits the stage, and no matter what of the 12 zodiac signs any of us are, the Leo zone, the Leo planets, or certainly all of us have one of the rooms, one of the 12 houses in the sign of Leo. That's what's not whispering this month. Pisces whispers, Libra whispers, Leo roars. Libra is soft, Pisces is soft, Cancer is internal, Leo is external, because they're ready to shift the energy. So when we talk about a Leo full moon, this is how what's getting lit up by the moon and the energies that can lead you out of any dark places or lead you out of any darkness or shadows. It's where the shadow work actually happens is Leo right now. And until we get to the sun shifting into Pisces over the 18th and 19th of February, this is the great tidal wave of Leo, and it's not a tsunami designed to drown us. It's a tsunami to say, good for you. You kept your head above water, and now, baby, let the light shine. Let the light shine. So if you're an Aries, you're the first fire sign, and if you're an Aries or an Aries rising, this energy, this Leo is saying to you in the fifth house that I need to discover, I need to share, I want to network, I want to excite something or someone, I want to be excited by that something or that place. It's a revolutionary, because we're in Aquarius, the revolutionary rebel part of it, radical part of it's Aquarius, because that's where the sun is. So for Aries, there's like this brilliance that's wanting to take place about like overcoming old financial habits, overcoming how you tend to just budget or spend. So there's a lot of engaging discussions and potentialities that are happening around Aries. Number one, because Leo favors Aries and Sagittarius. Number two, we've got this energy of these Aries planets that are beginning to say, you know what, you matter. But the thing that Aries tends to struggle with the most, I think, is they can handle the excitement and the drama more than the rest of us. I'll say that because it's kind of ongoing with them. Either they're drawing it to them or it's them creating it, a little of both. But what Aries gets frustrated with is when there's too much stillness. It kind of unnerves them a little bit. Aries and Aquarius tend to be better busy. Leo gets bored, Gemini gets bored, but Aries right now is feeling that they need to have some kind of inspirational instigation, like they're wanting to instigate something. They want to have a project, they want to create an endeavor, and they want it to be a significant milestone this year. I don't blame you, Aries. Saturn is going to go into your sign, and Aries is going to complete the 2.5, 3 years of Pisces, and Saturn's going to move into Aries as we come to the end of spring and we start the new planet changes in summer. When Saturn gets in your sign, Aries, you're going to be actually overcoming the fears. You're not going to succumb to negativity. It may be that you distance yourself a bit, starting, right now with understanding who you appreciate, but you're not necessarily going to be those people, going to let those people negotiate you or instigate you. So I feel like that personal desires and creative ambitions, with this being the fifth house, you might find, Aries, that if you have children or grandchildren, you might find that something comes up that they either want money, need money, feel like they should be, that you should buy that for them or be a part of that. They may present you with, can I have this? What would be the rules? How can I do this? Like when a parent's going to help their child get a first car, or They're going to be able to go to the shelter and adopt or foster a dog or a cat, kind of a thing. There's responsibility that comes with this, young lady. You better do this right, young man. So there's that kind of a discipline that's going to come in the Aries life. And it may be by summer that one of your kids wants to move out. All of a sudden they're going to have a child. They're going to move across country with a new job. So there's going to be something that comes in the news for you, Aries, between now, February, and late August of 2025. And if you're a Taurus, this is home base. A lot of Taurus clients that I'm working with are moving, painting, renovating, decluttering, taking care of their bodies more than they ever have. Like they're really realizing, I'm too thin, I'm too heavy, I don't want to get type 2 diabetes. Why am I always eating on the run, and I'm not caring at all about nutrition? I have one Taurus male connection, and he's like, I've been a personal coach and a personal trainer and did fine in my military career. And it's just like, I let myself get so disorganized. And so it's like, I'm always running on errands and to complete this and to schedule this and to do that. And he goes, and I'm absolutely eating on the run. And I said, yeah, and being a Taurus, nobody better mess with the bull when they sit down to have that soft moment of eating. It's literally what's going on is you're running so busy is that you literally need to sit. And the reason a lot of Taurus love food and love the ritual of that sandwich at home or eating out with someone that they enjoy and have good social connection with is because it's a moment for them. They are feeding themselves rather than having to feed other people. So there's a real cow, bull, the cow makes milk, we eat the meat, there's a whole dynamic there with that, the ox and the bull and the cows and the milk and all of that. So the beef industry. So if you're a Taurus right now, you're going to core. You're really going to core with how much or how little time you want to spend around certain relatives, or you may choose to say, I ain't saying nothing, I ain't getting in it with like family matters around Taurus people. Or if you're the Taurus, and be like, oh no, I'll say this much and then I'm going to stop. They just need me to listen. They don't need me to direct it. And if you're involved with the Taurus and there's something that you're a little concerned about, or you feel like they're getting a little stuck in a rut on, you got to approach the Taurus in a Venusian kind of way. Like it's Taurus and Cancer do not change unless they want to. And the thing that they don't want is for you to push them in a direction that they may actually go that way, but they don't need you to push them into it. They would like to take the adult and the child mode and decide that is a good course correction for them, and that would be healthier for them. So first, you're going to hear Taurus people talking about they know what they got to do, know what they ought to do, kind of a thing, but they're real wired right now. They're especially people born at the end of Taurus, people that are born in May, the people that are born in like mid-May to the end of May before we get to Memorial Day. You May born Taurus with different planets in Taurus. You're really going through that. Wow, I got to not only take care of my pasture, look at how my home, my pasture, my family, has been a source of comfort, but there's repairs that need to be done, or I need to move, or I need to upscale or downsize. There was a lot of these things orbiting around the Taurus, which involves what? Oh yeah, that Aquarius, Leo, Taurus square that's saying, ready. It's like hide and seek, ready or not, here I come. So change is coming. If I had to pick one word for 2025, this moon just puts us into the next gear, this full moon in Leo, but change is coming in 2025. Nothing remains the same. You may live the same place, you may love the same way, but everything's getting a transformative upgrade. Everything, you're like the whole inner decor type of a thing. You are this year a spiritual interior designer. That's what's going on. Your angels will help you. Your meditations will help you. The mushrooms may help you. The gummy may help you. The elderberry flower liqueur may help you. But you've got to realize that it's the good stuff's coming if you'll just stop being so leashed and bound by how the old you is, and isn't happy with those aspects of yourself anymore. So the 4th and the 10th houses in astrology on a psychological level, they have to do with mommy, daddy. They have to do with, are you parenting yourself too much? And maybe your inner child needs to come out of restriction, if that makes sense. So you're going to have these epiphanies and these dreams that Nicole was talking about, and how we're talking about them in the chat, as she said. It's like there's a surprising conversation, a message related to the shifts that you feel like, even in your dreams and in your prayers and intuitions, that are new opportunities, that are helping you get over the hurdles of any present challenges. So you're going to find yourself beginning to get both curious and questioning your role within creative, professional networks, certain new social groups. So you're kind of asserting your individuality more. And I feel like there could be a project that you do want to be more community minded with or involved with, but it's home and hearth for you, Taurus. And if you're Gemini, so you're finishing up this like 8 to 10 year cycle of Uranus, pushing you on deep inner type of cataclysmic events, the health issues, the divorces, the new relationships, the one that got away gets a hold of you again. Geminis have been going through at least 8 years of, I'm connecting with that person. I haven't seen them with high school, and boy, that was a different version of myself. And oh yeah, when I was in martial, oh yeah, when I was married to them, I was a completely different person. Who was that guy? I was really real at that time. So Geminis are having a different kind of growing up, maturation, because it's hitting the third house. So there's fascinating conversations. There's a mental invigoration. There's journeys. There's social mixers. There's things about cars. There's a different. I want to go to a car show, or I want to go to the racetrack, or I want to go see the dolphins, or I'm going to go into the islands. There's things around Gemini right now that if they live out in the rocks, they want to go to the mountains. If they live in the mountains, they want to go to the desert, or they want to go to the ocean. It's like they're needing some kind of I'm going to say it this way too, Gemini. It's like you need a psychological distraction because you've been either putting yourself under pressure or being felt like you are under pressure. I guess same thing, different interpretation. You're feeling the pressure, and neither person's wanting to admit, you or them, who's the reason that the pressure still hangs around both of you. And so what's happening, you have to change it, not just overthink it. And so what's happening is this Piscean energy and this full moon in Leo is saying to you, you don't have to use a lot of words to get the point across, to talk it out. Maybe sometimes just putting your hand on that person that you've not been seeing eye to eye with, be it a child, your lover, a friend, best friend, or a client, just patting their hand going, okay, okay, okay. It's okay to be you. It's okay to be you. I'm not offended. You got to be you. But at the same time, the other around you, Gemini, can't be drawn into whatever's making you feel surly or short patience or isolating or not. Like some Geminis I know aren't even inviting their significant other into the conversation. They're just kind of like, and going off to the room or going to work. And like, it's like the partner's like, okay, yeah, I don't want to push them. They're not ready to talk. So there was a little bit of dynamic going on there, Gemini, that you could probably tone it down a little bit and at least say to that person that matters to you, that child, that lover, that parent, going through some stuff. It's not you, but I'm going to probably be impatient, or I'm probably going to be a little short-tempered. I'm working some things out. So thank you. Please don't take it personal. Please don't take it personal. It's me, and I got to get through it. I appreciate your love. I appreciate your support, but I don't need other words right now because my mind is on fire. That's what's going on with Gemini. They're looking at every possible solution, resolution, scary clowns, and all of it. If you're a Cancer, this full moon in Leo is beginning. Leo's all about, do I know my worth? Do I allow self-worth? Do they deem me? Do they respect me as being worthy in their life? Do they realize that we're all in each other's lives by choice? And so neither one of us needs to push or dominate or disrespect the other. So Leo's all about, how's that self-worth meter going? Are we demanding too much of the other? Are we being too demanding? Are we withholding? Are we in a situation where we really love and care about the person, but I got to do me, you got to do you? I mean, believe me, you may not like it, but I don't like what you like, but I'm really letting you see the authentic me. That's Leo. I'm letting you see the authentic me, and it's okay if that's important enough to you. You got to go to pursue it. You got to go do that, but don't get mad at me because I don't feel the same kind of way you do. So that's where Leo will set a boundary, like, then go do what you want to do. Don't get mad at me if I don't want to go with you to go do it. Shift it or go enjoy yourself. I'm not asking you to, do what you need to do. You do you, I'm going to do me. When we get to that point of self-worth, our authentic compatibility with that friend, that job, that neighbor, certainly our intimate lover, is like, it matters a lot when someone shows you and lets you see their raw self, their true feelings, their commitments, and what they've said, hard pass, not doing that anymore. I'm not going to lie to you just to make you feel good today. I'm going to tell you the truth. That's just not my thing. But I'm glad that it's your thing. So most people put on the mask. Most people put out that I want you to like me, so therefore I'll just play pretend, and we walk through this jungle of masks, and then that's why people say, who the hell were they 7 years ago? They just did this with me and they cared about it. Like, you get into these relationships and these intimacies, and I think that part of what suffocates the Leo factor, our inner child, or the creative lover that just wants to laugh and embrace each other and have a good time and go, God, I love the way you touch my hair, kind of a thing, is just like, thank you for keeping it real, so I don't got to go cray. There's a lion, and the lion is in every one of our charts, and this full moon is letting the lion come out of the cave. And it doesn't have to hunt, but it's looking around. So for you, Cancer, it's about, I need to stop feeling so insecure about having fun if I'm not always making sure I answer that email, and I type this, and I write that, and I got to have extra money coming in, and then I can go decompress. I'm going to go play, and I'm going to spend some money. So I think the Cancer factor out there right now with Leo lighting up your realm of values and what you want to invest or spend time or money into, commitment or closing a door or opening a door. I think there's a lot of that going on for Cancer. If you're a Leo, yeah, baby, it's your spotlight emotionally. So for Leos right now, I know a lot of Leos that are kind of being a little bit in solitude, that are processing, a lot of Leos I know are processing the last 3 to 4 years. Like, they're looking at how that moved in closer and how that began to want to, go into the distant, whether it's persons, places, or things. So whatever's gone on with Leo the last 3 to 4 years, there's been some really dynamic scenery changes, landscape changes, new people in. Still love the other people that you don't see as much all the time where you did live before you got where you were over the last 3 to 4 years, but there's a shifting taking place. Could be job related, could be you saw them more, you saw them less. But the spotlight, Leo's on you, your needs. And that I believe now with this Leo full moon that the relief with anything that was going on behind the scenes, what really matters, who and what you've all been involved with, like some kind of like circus of chaos, the chaos in the circus. Now I got to go do this, I got to do more of that, got to do less of that, got to back that off because the green light's over here. So what's coming to you now, Leo, and what you can softly and by choice put your attention into and onto, rather than how life has kind of force placed you. Like, there's changes that have been going on around Leos the last 3 to 4 years, have been things that have kind of been thrown in their path. They had to deal with, they had to manage or negotiate. And what's going on with Leo right now is I'm going through some kind of avenue change. I'm changing lanes. They're beyond the crossroads and they're beyond the crisis, but this is about finding solid footing again. And so I feel like that whoever or whatever is either a powerful strength and a shield behind the scenes, and they're not requiring you to participate or negotiate. Just your tribe, your allies are all around you. Well, let me tell you, the Leo, the lion, doesn't come out of the cave emotionally, psychologically, spiritually until it's ready to. And they know how to fight their own demons. They know how to take on their own battles. And it's very comforting for Leo people out there to know that there are very heartfelt, real tribal brothers and sisters that are protecting them from a distance, or protecting them when at lunch with them, or in prayer ceremony, letting them emerge and go through that metamorphic transformation that they're going through. Mars is in Cancer. That's the 12th house of Leo. There's so much going on with Leos that you've known, and they may not be showing it on their face at all. So if they need alone time in solitude, let it be. Let it be. The lion's getting the sand spur out of its paw. If you're a Virgo, this full moon and all this stuff going into Pisces is pulling you away from just overthinking or needing to be a critic. Usually Virgos are real hard critics on themselves. and needing to feel like that your life's not right unless you absolutely get it perfect and aligned the first time that you engage with it at all, be it a person, place, or thing. Right now with Virgos, rest, swim, meditate. Like Virgo with all this Pisces, I jumped signs, in a sense, because it's like there's this energy with Virgo and Pisces right now that's the next zones for all of us, you guys. Like this full moon's in Leo, but the Virgo Pisces thing that Nicole started to talk about with the lineup in Pisces and the North Node in Pisces and Neptune and Saturn in Pisces with the North Node, we're both the mermaid and the king of the oceans and plumbing the depths right now. And I would say that as we shift from February to March until the next time Nicole and I get together with you, I want you to find out and focus through your favorite astrologer or, get on the internet, if you will, and have the Virgo Pisces part of your chart looked at and defined and interpreted a little bit, and just start yourself with learning about what's the difference between Virgo and Pisces. How does Virgo act and react both externally and internally, and how does Pisces, how do they strategize? Like Pisces is compassion, empathetic compassion and self-sacrifice and, suffering in silence kind of a thing, where Virgo is, they also can be very isolated, but they seek alternatives to, like, they'll act one way in public and they're not being fake, but it's just they don't let people in easy. So these are the parts of ourself to do with service and wellness, and where we feel like we can let our hair down. And so I feel Virgo right now has all the tender feels. I feel like, as far as dreams you were talking about, Nicole, and the chatters, the cosmic chatters, I feel like that we're doing some past vacuuming and we're doing some sweeping. And then, with those bagless vacuums, you still got to go outside and open it up and let it become plant and garden mulch, the stuff that you vacuum in your house. So we don't have the vacuum bags anymore so much, but we got the bagless vacuums. You still got to take that big plastic piece off and go out there and drop the dust, give it back to Mother Earth. If you're Libra, Mars in Cancer for Libra is invigorating them in a sense of, I want a new start. I want to open a new door. I want to reset it. I want to be able to allow myself to, again, engage and flirt with life. It's like they're wanting to promote it. They're wanting to market it. They're bored with conflicts. They're okay with renovation. They're okay with constructional improvements in their life personally, and even with boards and nails and new roofing. But I feel like that with Libras right now, the hidden emotions, a Leo full moon's good for Libra. I mean, it helps them be able to engage in humor and flirt and make someone feel good, not by being fake, but just noticing what's nice about a person. It doesn't always have to be your lover, but noticing that person cleaned up good, as we say in the country. Boy, you clean up nice, or that somebody, just did really a kindness and they didn't do it for applause or attention, but you're the one that steps forward and says, I saw what you did there. That was really nice. Good on you. So a little bit of the validation would be nice. And Libras right now are out there to validate and to encourage and to inspire. So I feel it's probably the most positive for Libra, even though Mars is in a challenging sign in Cancer. I feel like that Libra's actually probably got a pretty good psychological radar to read when someone's in pain, when they're suffering in silence, and try to be the bright spot in their day. Good for you, Libra. It's a lot of work. If you're a Scorpio, it's 10th house. Scorpio is looking at the top of the ladder, looking at what's advancing in their life and what's stagnating in their life. So Scorpios that I've been talking to lately know that there's really strong alterations and changes that are coming. Scorpios are having those non-planned, unexpected convos regarding family dynamics, their living situations, new perspectives. They're going to be emerging this year. I see the next couple of years being more social for you Scorpios. You're going to feel somewhat of a push, not a pull, but a push to assert your needs in professional relationships. You're going to now recognize who gets you, who realizes how you give, who respects how much you put forth, why you do the merit, the meritocracy, like you want to do your best the first time type of a thing. So there's going to be the people in your life that you can wink at that really see that you made the extra effort that you want to be the champion for the cause, that it takes a whole lot of work, and it does. When you got a whole bunch of Scorpio in this life, it takes a whole lot of work to rebuke, the dark that would like to take you away from that light that you can both walk in, bathe in, and present out there to other people. Leo is the light. Leo is the sign of the great star, our sun. And so for Scorpio right now, it's shining down upon you. It's a 10th house thing, and it's shining down upon you, and it's saying, you got this. Now, how can you build the team? Who would you like to have on your team? And how can you kind of discern what the qualities, who's the best runner and who's the best thrower and who's the one that absolutely is the great goalie? So Scorpios in a psychological, spiritual sense Leo rules the back, the heart, the back, the spine. So Scorpios are looking at who's got their back. Yeah, who's got their back. That's why Leo and Scorpio gets along really well. They may come to odds about opinions or a division in beliefs or truths, or one's here and one's there, but Scorpios and Leos get each other. Like a lot of Scorpios and Leos break up in marriages or relationships, but they don't ever lose their respect for that person when both people played it authentic and truthful. Now, I'll be the first to warn you against a dark, sinister-minded Leo or Scorpio. Oh, yeah, but all 12 signs can go sour if they choose the dark path. But I would say right now with Scorpio, it's like focus on ambition, not in the sense of just your career or the money coming in, but soul ambition, goals that you have, that kind of a thing. It's like, how can you present yourself where other people are benefited or empowered by the engagement with you, by what you believe, what you teach, what you learn, why you choose to go study what you study. That'll help a lot of people in your circle. If you're Sagittarius, there's our third fire sign. Leo's also nice. For you Sagittarians, it activates the teacher in you. It activates your appreciation of every person that ever triggered you, inspired you, rejected you, helped you so have to get out there and figure out what in the Sam hell caused that to go on between us. So this is like a building block for you Sagittarians. I do believe that you're actually crafting, like you're artisans right now, and you're crafting legacies, and you're internally, you're seeking to uplift and inspire others. So I feel like Sagittarius right now wants to help somebody gain a deeper understanding, or yet possibly even, have you ever looked at it like this, or what about that viewpoint? Instead of owning it, to make it look like they need the praise or attention, a Sagittarius will get a truth across to you, something like this. The other day, can't remember where I heard it, can't really remember who specifically it was that said it, or it came into my head. Maybe I dreamed it. But the other day I heard this person look at this very situation this away, instead of just that away. And it might be that Sagittarian parent, or that Sagittarian toddler, or that Sagittarian coworker or lover that actually sees that it would benefit you to give you a little inspiration or illumination. Like they want to see you light up, not just do it because they said so, or not just do it because they already know that's the right way. So just do it, damn it, and your life will be better. So the Sagittarius that's in that leveling up allows you to figure it out in a soft way, instead of, as my Sagittarian father used to always say, how long are you going to have to learn it the hard way? He's a little more direct. He's a double Sag. So Sagittarius can be like, do you like learning it like that? I can show you another way if you're going to be so hard-headed or strong-willed. So a true Sagittarius doesn't want to break your will. They like seeing your unique fighting power, champion, warrior, whatever it is. They don't want to take the warrior out of you. They want to see the fire of determination in you, and they don't want to do it for you. But they can be pretty blunt when they point out, okay, so you know the definition of crazy, right? You keep doing the same thing the same old way, and it always ends up the same way. Yeah, that's crazy. It's okay to make a different choice. So yeah, you will have a Sagittarius, male or female, remind you of that from time to time. And so I would say with Sagittarians, it's a great cycle for you to be able to get that inspired word or that message across. If you're Capricorn, it's an 8th house moonlight for you. So it's what you've learned and how you've risen up from a loss, from the death of someone or something special, from closing the door on that job, from letting go of that house. Capricorns right now are looking at their losses, the losses, as how it impacted them and how it taught them and how much is it still walking alongside them. Like, I lost that marriage, that broke up, they died. This happened early in my life. That was definitely a divorce, a death, a sudden shock. So Capricorns right now are processing in a very, that's so funny, the other line is ringing while we're talking about death and dying in spirit and processing. Sorry, Nicole, there's two lines. Sorry, audience, but it's like, let's look at it as a spirit bell. As I turn it off, it's like, all right, spirit, all right, then. So part of what's happening with Capricorn, obviously the higher frequencies are going to be lighting you up, Capricorn, because at my office in North Carolina and Florida, whenever the siren would go by or the clock would make a noise or there was something out of the ordinary like that, and I was doing some kind of reading or forecasting, to me that puts Capricorn in a very psychic spotlight, because an alarm, the phone, the rings, the bells rang, and it was a telephone, it was a landline, but it rang when we were talking about how you got fashioned from that or those that left your life, and perhaps those ancestors, those parents, those children, those beloved ones that you thought you'd be married to them forever, you thought you'd grow old together, you weren't quite ready whenever they left, even though they seemed to be a societal appropriate age. You realize that it teaches Capricorn never to take things for granted. But the process right now with the Capricorn and Pisces planets coming in is, don't let it make you bitter or sad, Capricorn. Let it make you better. Do that for them. For the ones that had to leave you early, maybe they weren't ready either. So the ones that had to go into spirit and that left you, the animals, the lovers, the dogs, the family, honor them by going out and understanding how you can be happier, because that's what that parent would want for you. That's what the child would want for you. Nobody, no person that's loved you, that goes into spirit, that loved you and loves you, because spirit's forever, wants you to be sad and broken because they had to go. Yeah, no, not your dog, not your cat, not your kid, no. They, if anything, those that love us in spirit want to protect us and shield us and encourage us and motivate us and just send sweet soul kisses to us, because, you know, how I interacted with you when I was on the earth with you was like this. But believe me, I'm not inhibited by a body anymore. I don't have to sleep or eat or have to go to the bathroom. I'm full spirit now, and I choose you. We connected this lifetime for a reason. I love you. I kiss you. I walk with you, and I want to be part of your angelic shield always and in always. That's kind of what's going on with Capricorn. Aquarius, it's your relationship, full moon. It's what you want in a relationship, even if you're not in an intimate arrangement right now. It's what you want and what you don't want. So Aquarius is looking at the plus and minuses of all partnerships, all significant others. I do see fabulous beginnings in 2025 for Aquarius. Oh, yeah. Nothing's going to remain the same because of Pluto in Aquarius. Boy, that puts you in the spotlight for a long time, like 12 to 20 years. And we've got Uranus going into Gemini. So there are very karmic, meant to be destiny dancing people in and out of your life from, like, especially March into July. It's like, oh my God, this is some big stuff. So the promotion, the motivation, the success, that you win the contest, you get the prize, your voice won, whatever it is. I feel like that this is that year for Aquarians to be able to say, you know, I always was the different one. I always was the nerd. I always got into this when other people were all flowing into that fad or fashion. And I'm the one. It's kind of like the odd duck, you know, it's like the alien living in a human world type of a thing, the hybrid, if you will, of it. No, Aquarius would be more like the astronaut in the starseed. So Aquarians are waking up to the joy of other people catching up with them. Yeah. But Aquarius is usually like ahead of the game, and they're the ones that will be the least interested in your emotional drama. Yeah, Aquarius is like, you know what, would you please not go to lunch with me again? And go on and on and on again about that toxic situation with that person, and yet you don't do anything to change it. Aquarius is always about change. It's always about trying the different possibilities and potentialities until it gets to the point to where it's a win-win. Aquarius is like, oh my God, you still drugged down by that? Get the halter off. You know, unsaddle yourself. Find out who you are again. And then make a decision on the job, the lover, the marriage, the the location or whatever. It's like, just stop focusing on what's not making you happy and start a list on what probably would make you happy, even if you stayed right here with that person. Focus on what would be the win. That's where Aquarius is different than Leo. Leo's like, I can't believe that said that about me. I can't believe they lied about me. I can't believe that. Leo can get caught up in the emotional soap opera of it all, the reality show of it all. And they're damn good in reality shows. Oh, they'll get the spotlight. Trust me. You'll get the reaction from a Leo. And that's what the battlefield, if you will, is with Aquarius and Leo right now. Aquarius is like, leave me alone. I got this. And Leo's like, I need some more attention. Would you pet me? Would you drive me? Could you buy me? Can I have sex with you? Will you talk to me? It's like Leos right now have no idea that if they're not dealing with their private self and their inner self, that they're wearing the friends out. They're wearing their connections out. It's the Leos right now that are softly retiring and processing and studying and praying and meditating and gazing at this beautiful moon. Those are the ones that are taking it to the highest levels, and good for them. They're emerging with wings, with one wing stronger than the other, but still they got their own wings going. And finally, if you're a Pisces, whoa, have you got a year? It's been since like 2007 as a reference point that the North Node was in Pisces in these different kind of eclipse cycles. Big months, March and September for you Pisces. It's in your 6th house, so I see a whole new you. I feel like you finally got the design or the redesign or the new personal architecture with your health issues, any kind of crisis that was going around with you medically. I see bolder choices. I see you reborn. Actually, it's like the psychic scene I see. It's also cute little turtles that come on all the little turtles come and do their eggs. And there's a lot of them that happen in Florida, a Pisces state. And people get out there on Indian Rocks Beach and all, and they guard it. And it's the sea turtle sanctuary. And all of a sudden, there's that day where the little eggs that were down under the sand come up and they just haul ass to the ocean. It is so profound to watch them literally come up from the earth, the sand, and they've come out of their little turtle eggies, and all of a sudden they're just boot scooting it to get to that water because there's this divine clock and there's a biological need. If they're going to survive, they got to get there. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's the same every time I'm ever wading out in the salt waters of Pisces and the dolphins come up and flip, or for some people they freak out because they think the dolphins are a shark, or you've gone out to California and been on one of those boats where you see the whales. It's absolutely incredible when you get around these dinosaurs, these ancient beings, these aquatic totems of the sea. We're going to see a whole lot to do with oceans of the world, the Mariana Trenches, the deep caverns in the oceans. We might discover a new ocean. There might be things changing around with the ocean's directions and such, and the algae improving and clearing up a lot of the toxicity, the oils and the oceans, and the whole disillusionment of the negative side of big pharma. That's going to be happening first around Virgo and Pisces people. It's going to be Virgo and Pisces people that buck up against the rules of the government or their insurance or the medical saying, you either do this or we're not going to pay for this. Like, you know what, I'll cancel my insurance. Yeah, mahalo, see you. So you're going to see them maybe being forced to learn a little bit more about Chinese medicine or Reiki or acupuncture or fasting. That's a really good one. So if you're a Pisces, you're opening doors in your life, and you're alternating, all of us right now, because of the Piscean factors that are coming up. We're in that Pisces mode in the Dream Lodge and in meditation and prayer and alternate realities, because we are alternating between feeling wired and then tired, like feeling this exhaustion as these old energies are being shaken loose. And so what may end right now, I'll wrap it up with this, what may end right now is where we feel we're not able to be ourselves, where I'm not able to be me. And again, the reference point goes back to 2007. So with all of the signs, the Leo full moon is lighting up the frequencies that reveal to you what's no longer a match for who you are becoming. You're not being left behind. You're not being left behind or abandoned, but you're being elevated. So Leo, it's the heart of the lion as we go into the 12th, 13th, 14th of February with the constellation of Leo. You know, it happens in one place, and then as the moon moves, it's lighting up Regulus, which is one of the royal Persian stars, and it's the heart of the lion. And the lion is the heart chakra. So, when you look at the word earth and you look at the word heart, you can just switch the letters around and it's the same. So in our earth life, in our earth walk, to get to the heart of the matter, to get to the heart of what matters, is to allow spirit and the divine and the sacred covenants to be in your heart, aligned with your soul. And that's the eyes that you choose to now see all the people that matter to you in your life, whether you're going to close the door or move away or move in closer or give them space to do what they need to do to move away or to get closer. So take the higher path, look for the longest win. Right now, it's not a short game. Nah, it's not a short game. We get into the real game and the real rewards of our efforts of 2025 when we get to the summer of 2025. Yeah, that's when all the real work begins. Right now, we're being prepared.
That's saying it mildly.
Oh, did I say that there's intensity with Leo? Yeah, thank you, Nicole. Yeah, there's Leo's just like, I said this way right now. Yeah, remember it's a lion. It's a lion. It's a lioness. So the camel is saying, I'm a camel. I can survive the drought. I have my own way. My dromedary camel humps help me to preserve water. What's the element right now? Fire and water. So the drought, the dry, the fires of our thoughts, what fires us up, and anger management is real important with this Uranus and Taurus and the Aquarius detachment. Sometimes people get angry when you choose not to engage, not to argue, and you detach. People get mad. They get mad that you won't engage in the drama. So we're kind of all balancing that right now. But the Leo part of your chart right now for the next week is where you're at emotionally. Then we're shifting, as Nicole said, in that 18th, 19th of February, going into the 23rd. The Pisces, the ocean waves are coming in. It's the tide in, it's the tide out. And why don't you just, take you a part of while in rest, take an Epsom salt bath, get out under the stars and feel the fogs and the mist and bless. Maybe we're supposed to bless the skies, with everything that's going on, and let's bless air travel. Let's bless people that are traveling. Let's bless the pilots and the airlines, and like the insurance agency that blew up this year too with the assassin in New York City, a Leo area. Maybe I don't agree with any of this kind of violence, but oh my God, after that bizarre, truly bizarre incidents, whatever the backstory is on that, the whole United Insurance Company thing got exploded out. And that's the details of healthcare. That's Virgo. The insurance company, the negative or positive side of the pharmaceutical company versus the holistic naturopathic. That's all going on.
Also, I would say, yes, health insurance, but just insurance companies in general, I think are going to be exposed in a very interesting way, because I feel like Pluto in Aquarius is doing a very interesting job right now of exposing, just what the Doge is doing to US aid and all this other stuff, right? And seeing where we're thinking we're like sending aid and help to others, like being very humanitarian, but actually not. It's very deceitful. It's very deceptive, very like underground kind of Plutonian energy. Yeah. And then like look at, also I think insurance companies are going to take a big hit over the next few years. Just because even look at with the wildfires in California and what's going on there. And then I just think there's going to be a lot of interesting things of like, how are we actually serving the people? Is this actually for everyone's highest good? And so all of these different things that are like kind of coming up, I can see like Pluto and Aquarius is exposing it all. And I got to tell you, it is even blowing my mind. This is like, I always knew I never trusted the government since I was a teenager. I was like, I do not trust the government. I don't trust them with my money. And that's why I was so happy to like leave Canada and go down to the Cayman Islands for a while and not have to pay any taxes, because I'm like, I do not want to give my money to an entity that has no idea how to manage money.
Well, nor do I want to give my soul and my physical body sovereignty, my choice. The divine created me, over to some insurance company, pharmaceutical person saying, well, if you don't do this, then you don't matter. So bye. Watch this. I matter to spirit. I don't have to follow your rules.
Yeah. And it's just like, and here it is too, Mars in Cancer retrograde. This US aid and everything else that's kind of coming up, the Treasury and all this is getting exposed. It is infuriating taxpayers, like people, like both sides of the aisle. Doesn't matter which side politically you're on. Like when you find out your hard-earned money is being laundered in one of the biggest racketeers that we can like remember in our lifetime, and it's all at the helm of like the government. It's just wild to see it all kind of
government.
Yeah.
Governments all over. Whether it's the CDC or the WEF or WHO and all these little, alphabet letter type of organizations. Let me tell you, there's a whole new spelling, a whole new language that's taken place. And as I said at the beginning of the show, we the people matter. Yeah. You all, like us, as your worker bees and your drones and building the beehive and doing the product and tilling the fields and selling the idea and building the cars and drill baby drill and everything else that's out there. But you know what? If everybody would just show up and do the best of how God has created the perfection of us and stand up when it's wrong. Stand up when it's wrong. I love the people that are supposedly whistleblowers. And I know there's bots and there's trolls and there's deceptions all over the web. There's now a dark web kind of thing that I don't go to and I'm not going to. But I feel like that we have to be, like there's angelic messengers. We're to be earth messengers, earth angels of kindness and compassion in motion. And when we see that something's wrong and when we know that something's wrong, we disengage. We disengage going, nope, yet, de nada. No. Yeah. No means no.
So, I don't think we're done with this Mars and Cancer energy. Like, thank goodness, Mars is going to be going direct soon in just a week or two. Yeah. But, I would just say to everyone out there, just a little heads up. Around February 22nd, 23rd, 24th, because I think that's when Mars is stationing direct. Just lay low. Lay low. Don't let your emotions get the better of you, because whenever a planet stations direct or retrograde, when it's in that stationing, it's super powerful. And with Mars, not only is it in Cancer and it's been retrograde and it has not liked being in Cancer and it has not liked being retrograde, but it's also out of bounds, which means it's very rebellious. Yep. So your emotions may just want to be like, F this.
Yep.
Or someone around you might be like that. So just kind of lay low those days. Try to keep I don't know. I don't want to say keep a lid on it. I would just say take the whole pot off the burner if you can.
Yeah, don't cook on high.
Yeah, don't cook on high. Don't cook on high.
Yeah, don't cook on high. Don't cook on full heat. And please be aware of this. I always say to my clients, please do not second guess your first instinct. If you misplaced your keys, instead of just getting mad at yourself, and I use this example a lot, maybe your timing got delayed because Spirit helped you not get in some type of accident or some type of problematic or congestion on the highway. Maybe you just missed it, kind of a thing. There's always those stories about the people that didn't get on the plane, didn't take the trip that day, gave their ticket away, whatever. So I want you to be, whenever you've got these disruptions, and they're really not bad disruptions right now with Mars because they got all the Pisces stuff, which is good. But whenever in astrology, when you're learning that Mars is going to fight with Uranus or Pluto and Uranus or Uranus and Mars, when those kind of things are going to fight, always, you should be proactive anyway, but be very aware of your surroundings, because all of a sudden the weirdo or the person that's too high for their own good is going to try to assault you, try to get money out of you, try to interfere with whatever your ongoing plans are when you're out in public. Be very aware over the next couple of full moons. Be very aware of your surroundings. Be very aware when you're pumping the gas in your car or charging your batteries or whatever you're doing. Be vigilant. I guess that's what I want to say. Be vigilant, because the dark side of Pisces can be the sneaky, the ones that want you to think it's conspiracy theory, and they want you to
con artists.
Like you're out of your mind crazy. Yeah, but they really are doing the nefarious agenda. They really are. They want to psyops you or MK Ultra your ass, or or, demote you or make you look like you're crazy, but instead it's because they don't want you to expose the agenda, like you were just referring to with some of these financial programs. And that's Uranus and Taurus too. It's ending that time.
It's putting a veil over the veil.
It is. And then all of a sudden I think in our prayers, Nicole, we should also celebrate. I do, and I will. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Great Spirit, Great Mystery. Thank you for eyes that will see and ears that will hear. And thank you for the discernment of whether just because Spirit shows us something really radical and blows the lid off of something we've been told otherwise, but it's really this, does not automatically mean that you got to go out there and tell the world. Some big exposés of truth through Spirit are for you. Mm-hmm. They're just for you. And then you process it and you implement it for the higher, greater good of whatever teaching, preaching work that you do to softly help other people see the benefit of taking this kind of course or whatever. We don't need to push people to have any kind of specific belief. I've always said the best business card slogan that ever was, the best marketing slogan that ever was, is when Jesus said, "By my works, ye shall know me." If we all did that, if we just all did that, that's my exclamation point.
Yeah, well, amen to that. And to everyone who's here, everyone who's in the live chat right now, I just want to say a big fat hello. Both Mary and I, thank you for your support of showing up. And to everyone out there, if you want to have a reading with Mary, please go to her website, marydusina.com. I'm leaving all of her links, both social media and her website, in the show notes. And of course, with this being the year of the snake, which is of course of shedding old skins, and is interestingly something I use at my retreats. We do use the snake at the retreat this year. Then, cool. If you're interested in coming to the 3-day 180, it is this May 15th through the 18th. Tickets are still available, but they are going. There is limited tickets left and rooms available. So if you'd like to come, please do check that out and also send in your application to be considered. Guys, I love you so much. You're going to love next week's episode, by the way. I have a real treat in store for you. So stick around for that. And Mary, love you so much. Thanks for coming in and spending your time with us and going through the run through of every sign as you do. We really appreciate you. And we will see you next month for our full moon in Virgo. We've got an eclipse coming up, so yay.
Yeah, sweet spot. Look, that we're clearing the garden now, but we're going to be planting by the time we get to about 3.5 weeks from now. It's going to be like alrighty then. I saw the light.
Yes. So everyone, be safe out there. Enjoy this full moon, and you know what? No matter who's in